Good morning. Welcome. It's a Saturday morning, and we're gonna be doing the weekly review. So right here is US30, and as you can see, we have this setup right for US30, and then let me just do this. Nope. You see, we had this setup where we were expecting the market to. This was our weekly forecast, right, for US 30. As you can see, we're looking at this area right here is the resistance zone where you could trade and then go back down or break, close above and go back to come to this area. So now let's look at what the market actually did do. Okay, just do this and there. This is correct. Yeah, there's no press. Remove that, and this right here. This is what now, as you can see, we're expecting it to come here from the weekly forecast, and it did. But when it did, this was the open. Try to get momentum, was not enough momentum to push way to this area right here, so it bounced back up there with a nice bullish engulfing, as you can see. But now again failing to close above that area right there, right? Coming back to this area. Now we have another bullish engulfing, but the second candle was a hanging man, as you can see, and that indicates a reversal. But then that reversal didn't have enough momentum, which gave us this third touch. So we know that our trend line could be valid. And then now it bends, gave again a doji right there. Again came for a retest on that area, gave us a doji. Another hammer, another doji. So this was indecision, but while it was building a slow momentum to the upwards, and you can see that was a stop loss hunt, right? As you can see, but it still closed a little bit above that resistance zone, but that was a stop loss hunt, and then it came back, giving us that bearish engulfing right there, and then it shot way down to close in this area right here, where we can see this, right? You can see this. We can be looking at that as the market was failed to break above that area when it closed. But yeah, that's been it for US 30. Right, so this is a German 40, and we can see that this was not the weekly forecast. We were in that was our high and our low, and we were in a, what you might call it, bearish channel or bearish trend. You can see the first touch, second touch, third touch, and that was the resistance zone. As well, you can see where it pretty closed next to that zone in the previous week. So now we're thinking that if we rebounds on that trend line and then break above that resistance zone, well, we'll be looking at this area. And then, that was our weekly forecast. And so now let's look at what actually transpired during the week. So you can see that it did actually come for that retest, gave us that bullish engulfing right there, and then it shot up but was unable to reach our first take profit area. But you can see that we're also looking at this area right here. As the week progressed, we planted this area as a nice resistance line, if it was to ever, because we saw this too, right, this area right here, and we saw if there might be a possibility of it coming back to this area. But then now, after failing to come back to this area and can see this, it was still battling with that resistance zone, gave us a bearish engulfing right there, right, that bearish engulfing, and then it just shut down, breaking our previous week's low, as this was the new low for the week. This was our last week's low for the week, right? Still showing us that we are still in a downwards trend. But yeah, that's gonna be it for Ger40. Gold right here, and we can see that this was our high, this is the forecast, right? This was our high, that's our low, and we can see this area right here, we're forming a nice, this was the overall bearish trend, right? Because it was below that trend, and this now was a transit trend. This was the inner bearish trend, looking for, trying to see if it was to reach this area, could it build momentum, come there as a wedge, right? Coming back to this, also playing back to come back to this support zone and also gain momentum to shoot that or close below. But now let's see what really occurred, and as you can see that it did come to that support zone, and that support zone and broke above. It also gave us a new low, because this was our previous week's low, but this is our new low. Try to reach, because it closed below, and you can see that first bearish engulfing right there. After that that bearish engulfing, after that was a doji. You can see those two dojis showing undecisiveness and gave us that bearish engulfing. And then, but right here it gave us two hammers, right? One hammer, and then that bullish engulfing, show that it's now gaining momentum to go to the upside, right? But we can see that if we were here at the start of the weekend, right, and then you can see that we were now looking to capitalize on that move, because we were here, and then now you can see that it came there, the retest that zone, couldn't break, came back down for the retest in this area. You see, confirming that, and finally broke up, because then now it created a lower low, and then created another lower high, another lower low, and a lower high, and a lower low. It's still a lower high, so we're still in that overall bearish movement. But yeah, that's gonna be it for gold. US100, we can see that as this was our weekly forecast, we can see that we were still in that bearish momentum, and we are looking to go to the upwards. This was the forecast, right? We've seen that okay, now we have that the inward trend of it gaining momentum to the upward side. But we can see that if it was to close above here, right, we can see that resistance zone be tested, and then come back to retest this area before bouncing back up, or it could close above, give us a retest and go above, or it could even, since we are at that downward trend at the end of it, we could be coming back to this area right here, right? So let's see what it actually did. And as you can see, it broke above that area, it failed to it hit the resistance zone, failed to break, even enter inside or break above it, giving us a nice hanging man right there, a doji, another hammer, and you can see we are now gaining momentum, coming back to this area where we're looking for it to retest, and we can see that area right there, right? Let me just do this. That area right there where it gives us our first touch, second touch, third touch. We are looking for a buy at this point, and we saw this right here, the bullish engulfing, because we have that hammer, and then that engulfing gave us an up, looking for it to come here. It failed to reach that resistance zone again. We have that, and it gave us a nice hanging man and a bearish engulfing, coming down to this our inward upward trend. As you can see, now it finally couldn't retest. You can see we had that, it had that little movement trying to test that area, trying to gain momentum towards the upside, but it finally broke and closed below. As you can see, it gave us a retest right there, and then shot back down, and then as you can see, this is where it closed for the week. For Bitcoin, we're looking at this area right here, as this was a nice ascending triangle, and we always know that the difference here for the ascending triangle is going to be our difference if it goes above, right? And so that was what we were looking for, during the week. If based on this analysis, if the pattern was to pull through, that's where it did go, and let's see how it did. It did not respect the pattern, right? And as you can see, we had that there, that retest, that fake out right there, and then now it came to this area right here, giving us a broke close below a retest, and then came again for a retest. And now you can see that it shot down again, breaking that low again, coming back to that 90,000 zone, because we are looking at it, we're in the 20,000, and now we have gave us that nice right momentum right there, impulsive momentum, but it was not consistent, so now it's back in the 19,000 area.